This is the Academy of Medical Sciences in central London, and it's where 30 people, all involved in arts and health research, discuss how best to bring arts into the mainstream of health research. After the seminar, I caught up with some of the people who've been involved today.
I'm Tim Joss. I think today has been really rather marvellous because we managed to bring together a really wide range of people with an interest in arts and health. So there we had artists, we had arts organisations, we had researchers, we had policymakers, funders, and the way it, I thought, worked really rather well was this idea of reassuring them by putting the funders together, the artists together and so on, but then later mixing them up. Once they were more confident, they were beginning to generate ideas, we mixed them up, and it's turned into a very productive day, I think.
You're developing a methodological framework. What's the point of having a framework?
This framework is a framework for arts and health research. And what we need in this framework is something which brings the arts into the health research mainstream. I think at the moment, if you spoke to many mainstream health researchers, they would say, arts? Oh, that's not something we come across very often. They make it feel as though it's something out on the periphery. So the big question we've been asking ourselves is, how do we bring it into the mainstream? We had a really good keynote speech from Professor Dame Sally McIntyre. Sally has been the person behind the Medical Research Council's guidance on complex interventions. And what we realised, one of our light bulb moments, was that actually you don't have to think of arts interventions as way out and very different from anything else that happens in the health system. The arts are, an arts intervention is just a particular kind of complex intervention.
What other points came out of today? For instance, the need for collaboration seems to be a particularly strong theme.
That came through, yeah, very clearly. And the way we made sense of it was that we're not trying to get artists or arts organisations to become health researchers. What we're trying to do really is two main things. One is to develop a language so that these two very different communities can talk to each other. But secondly, how can they team up together so that they can do arts and health research? So one can picture a situation where you might have health economists, statisticians, methodologists who look at the very process of what you're doing. You work up teams with that kind of health researcher working alongside arts organisations and artists.
What are the next steps?
So my organisation has now formed a partnership with the UK Network for Arts and Health Research. It's very new, this network, but already they have about 50 members, and we're working with them on a national strategy for arts and health. And so the next steps, I think, are going to be taken by my organisation working alongside this UK network. And those steps are, first of all, to digest all the ideas that came up today. And then I would hope by the autumn we would get to a point where we could have the first edition of this methodological framework. I think we have to be honest, some of it will still have a few contradictions, unanswered questions, but in many respects I think we've made very good progress and there'll be quite a lot to put in there.